Hello friends, this is my first edition of Kaam Ki Baat in English. Last month I started a series of responding to Prime Minister's Man Ki Baat every time he speaks on Doordarshan and All India Radio. As a citizen, as a concerned citizen if you may like, also as a member of the Congress party, to give my point of view and the point of view of people I interact with. And I thought since the Prime Minister is using government airtime, public Doordarshan, it's our right to respond. Today, this morning, the Prime Minister started his Man Ki Baat by talking about the accomplishments of ISRO and its scientists, especially putting the world record 104 satellites in space. And I joined the Prime Minister in congratulating ISRO and the scientists. He also quoted Mahatma Gandhi to talk about science and technology. But what is sad is that every time he does this, for some strange reason, he forgets Jawaharlal Nehru, actually the pioneer of scientific temper in this nation, the person who established ISRO in 1962. Who established IITs and a whole plethora of institutions concerned with science and scientific development. He is probably the first public leader to openly challenge people's ideas and beliefs which are rooted in orthodoxy, perhaps not on scientific grounds, and ask people to come out and look at science and technology as a liberating science, as a science that brings modern technology to your doorsteps and makes you break with your barriers of physical science, of understanding, and looking at the world in a louder outfit. He also forgot Mrs. Indira Gandhi's role in the missile technology that has also led to the formation of the PSLV that has put these satellites in space. Perhaps because they were Congress Prime Ministers, is that so? I think in that sense it's very unfair for a person who's a Prime Minister. And please remember, a Prime Minister is a Prime Minister of all the people, not just of a party, especially not just only of an ideology. And I think it is grace, it is probably not just grace, it is duty of a Prime Minister to acknowledge all those before him who established this nation on its path of progress, and especially in science and technology and missiles, where you cannot talk of them without talking of Homi Bhabha or Vikram Sarabhai or Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru who put them together. Similarly, the case with the ballistic missile that he spoke about. It was actually pre-tested first in 2006 under Manmohan Singh and conceived under P.V. Narasimha Rao. But chalo, let's forget that and let's come to the second point. He also congratulated our younger scientists. He spoke of their great contribution. And in this, I must say, Prime Minister, we must again acknowledge the role that the Congress and Nehru and others, in fact, including Shastri ji and Indira ji and others did in this, creating IITs in India, especially the great work of Dr. Manmohan Singh in establishing the Indian Institutes of Scientific Education and Research, which have become pioneering institutes in India in the promotion of scientific education for children. And we would expect, Prime Minister, since you want to better the 70-year record of the Congress, to at least establish 5-6 of them into this whole nation, across the length and breadth of this nation. I think the 5 IISERs that have been established in the last 7-8 years have become standard bearers of great scientific education. And one more thing, Prime Minister, as a citizen and in fact as a great proud Indian, proud of our heritage, of our civilization, I've been a 5-year student of history. And I think I'm proud of this nation, the way it was and the way it is. And I don't want anybody to create stories or myths about my nation to make me feel proud of it. I'm proud of our civilization, its past, its achievements, and its lack of them, because that's what we were and that's how we are. But it pains me, when very often you transcend, the boundaries of fact and go into the world of fiction. I can understand stories and myths about a great mythical past where we could do surgery, where we had planes that were flying, where we could have atom bombs, and those are in the realms of myth. But for a Prime Minister to state that as achievements of a past ancient civilization, I think is sad. There is no evidence available to that, and it also shows that perhaps we regressed as a civilization, which is incorrect. If there was a plane 5,000 years ago, how come over the last 5,000 years we actually regressed into not even having cycles in our own? I don't want to get into the debate, but I would certainly say, restrict yourself to what is fact. Don't make us not believe and not be confident of a past that we had. I think I'm proud of the India we had. I'm proud of the India that we have today and what we had. Unlike you, I don't want a mythical past. I want a true past. I was proud of our ancestors. I'm proud of present day Indians. I expect the same from the Prime Minister.